Hello, welcome to episode 87 of Anime Territory. My name is Jonathan. With me, as always, is my co-host, Benjamin the Tiger Shapping.
Give me the tiger, not the fish.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we started, I hit record and I did the clap sync, and then I'm like, I don't have a nickname. You know what? I'll be nice. Ben's the Tiger this week.
Nice. I'll take it.
So this week, if it's not obvious from the name of the episode, and from what we've said so far, we're talking about Josee, the Tiger and the Fish. Anime movie came out in 2020. It was classified as a romantic comedy drama, but I think it's more just a romantic drama that's not like too heavy. Mm-hmm. It's like a light romantic drama.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think it was that funny.
Not that much comedy in it.
Yeah.
That might just get people in seats, though.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's a romantic comedy.
It's just like, it's so, romantic comedy doesn't mean comedy. Does that make sense?
Elaborate.
So when you think, okay, if I were to say this is a romance movie, not talking about this movie, but just say, oh yeah, this movie, it's a romance movie. That has connotations. Whereas it like, oh, it might be steamy. Like a romance novel is steamy. Whereas this is like, no, this is sort of like light and it's not too dramatic. Though there are moments that are dramatic. But like, I just think if you call it just a romance or you call it just a drama or romance drama, that has connotations that like it's going to be heavier in themes.
Why don't they just call it like a romantic dramedy then?
Because the dramedy is a thing too. Like, I just think the comedy is there to imply tone. And that like, okay, this is going to be lighter and sweeter and with a happy ending.
Gotcha.
Whereas like a romantic drama is not going to have necessarily a happy ending. It could.
It could.
But, you know, it's going to be more drama is the key word there. Mm-hmm. You know, whereas just straight up romance, again, if you're talking romance novel, that has like a steamy connotation to it.
Mm-hmm. I get you.
Because like, some of the most famous romantic comedies in the last 50 years would be Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, Sleepless in Seattle, or You've Got Mail. Neither of those are that funny.
Is that the one where Tom Hanks has poison ivy up his rectum?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Okay. All right. That's our one other guy's reference.
Yeah. Neither of those movies are really, would you classify as, like, a comedy, right? I mean, they might have, like, little funny moments in there, or, like, banter is funny sometimes.
You've Got Mail might be a little funnier than you think. But I don't know. I get what you're saying, though.
You've Got Mail is probably funnier than Sleepless in Seattle. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's more just an implication of tone than anything else, is how I would put it. I don't know. Maybe I'm on the ground floor. Maybe I'm breaking this case wide open. Or maybe everybody already knows that about romantic comedies. Because, like, some romantic comedies are just more funny. Mm-hmm. Like, or, like, trying to be funny, I should say. They'll have more jokes in them. Mm-hmm. Whereas this didn't really have jokes.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
I can't think
Along Came Polly, or There's Something About Mary. Those, I think, both have, like, jokes and star, like, comedic actors and stuff.
Yeah. Those are actual comedies.
Yeah.
They have, I got you.
So, I mean, I guess there's a spectrum. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to get at. But what is spoiler free? I didn't write down very many notes, including how we're going to do this. So I'm just going off of memory right now. I mean, we do the same thing every time. Yeah. Spoiler free thoughts. What are your thoughts right now?
It was really good. It's just a solid romance anime. They could have gone different ways with it. Mm-hmm. I'm glad they didn't. So yeah, overall very good.
Yeah, I like this. I don't have much to add to like my spoiler free thoughts of this. I guess I can say it's not really a spoiler. It's about like a relationship between I say relationship. That's even like a spoiler, I guess, technically. Is that because like they don't get together? They're not together in the movie till the very end.
Well, no, but a relationship doesn't have to necessarily mean romantic.
Yeah, they're not a boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
Spoilers: they're a boyfriend and girlfriend at the end of the movie. But
spoilers.
But it is. What am I trying to say? Yeah, it's just about a guy who helps take care of a girl in a wheelchair after
a chance encounter.
Where he saves her from
a hill.
Yeah, the damn hill. I got things to say about that hill, but I'll leave it for now.
Mm-hmm.
And is offered a job because he needs the money to be a.
He's a broke college kid trying to study abroad because I'm assuming, marine biologist.
Yes, studying marine biology. Yes. And he loves diving and spending time with the fishes. He likes sleeping with the fishes.
Well, not sleeping with the fishes.
Okay. Well,
like
if he could, if he wanted, if he could, he would. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, if he could, he would, but he can't. Because he's not a fish.
Yeah.
He's a person.
For now. Anyway, so what's your rating on this?
7.5.
I think I'd go.
Make me round.
7.5 is good.
Yeah.
If you make me round
up, I think I would round up.
I think I would round down. I think I would round to 7.
Okay.
But I think 7.5 is a good call on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I were to put it into my anime list, which I should do before I forget that I've seen it,
mm-hmm.
forget to add it, you have to pick a round number there. So I would call it a 7.
Okay. I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Move it up.
I think I really like it. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like it does anything that I've not seen before.
That is the one. Like, I think it's not like a negative of it.
Yeah, it's not a negative. It's just like it doesn't blow me out of the water, or it doesn't have some like really interesting take as far as like, oh, hey, I never like thought about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little bit of like what would it be like to date somebody in a wheelchair, or to like to live your life like that I think was probably important to the author of the short story from what I've been reading. I haven't read the short story. I've just been trying to do a little bit of research before
the very few quotes I saw, the director wanted that too.
Yeah, which I think is a good thing, but not necessarily like that's not like oh man, I never thought about wheelchairs like that. It's like, oh no, like where we're at in society now is a lot better place than where we were in 1984 when the short story was written. As far as accessibility and people treating disabled people like, I shouldn't even say disabled. It's, what is the proper term now? I know when I was like 13, I got the Disabilities Awareness Merit Badge, and I don't remember what the preferred term was even then. I know they don't like the term handicap. It's got the history of that has got some connotations to it that I didn't quite understand what they were because I was 13 and I didn't live in the 80s or whatever. Cap in hand is something that's like almost like a derogatory term, but
Never heard that before.
I didn't. Yeah, neither had I. When my teacher, this merit badge, was like, "Hey, we don't like the term handicap because of cap in hand," and I was like, "All right, whatever." Yeah. I don't know what that means, but it might be like a beggar thing. I really shouldn't comment without knowing. So
that makes sense because cap in hand.
Yeah.
Wikipedia just calls her a paraplegic.
But yeah, like so it has a little bit of that, but it just doesn't feel like I needed that. Like I already knew that sort of thing. That it's hard but not impossible, and you can be your own person. And you don't need to rely on others, but you can also shouldn't feel shame and needing help every now and again. Like that's a message I've heard before. Whereas, other stories might hook me better, or even just like there are characters I like more and have more fun chemistry with.
Okay.
Like, okay, one of my favorite rom-coms, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. It's like, that show I think is better than this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, I like the characters more. They're, it's also a funnier show, and it does some things that I think are interesting.
It explores different themes.
Yeah. Whereas this one was just sort of nice. I don't want to say fluff, because it's not just fluff, but it's...
I don't know what the word would be.
Yeah. This is why I give it a 7. This is what I'm getting at here.
It's perfectly fine. Doesn't blow your socks off, but it's quality.
Yeah. Does its job. Clocks in, puts in a good day's work, clocks out.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's fine.
It's doing its job.
Not going to get promoted anytime soon, but valued employee.
So, a thought that's in my head here. This is not something we typically do, but I don't know if I necessarily want to describe the plot of this movie.
It's kind of simple. I mean,
he's studying to be a marine biologist, picking up part-time jobs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a girl at his work that likes him. Mm-hmm. It's very obvious from the first time we see them.
Very obvious.
It's very obvious that he just hasn't thought about it.
Because he's too busy.
He's too busy, and he's also just like, hey, I'm planning on leaving for a year to go to Mexico.
To become a marine biologist.
Well, not even that. Like, he's going to graduate with a degree in marine biology. He doesn't have to study abroad, but he wants to go study in Mexico because of the fishies.
Yeah, he wants to
see the fishies that live there.
See those sweet
those fishies that
fish.
he loves. He loves
fish. I
should
have wrote down the fish name. Dang it, what was that fish called?
I don't know.
Damn.
It's
right here. The Clarion angelfish.
Yes. Is it Clarion or Clarion?
Clarion.
Okay, I would say Clarion. Yeah, he doesn't have time for loving any girls because he's loving the fish so much. He wants to sleep with the fishes.
Oh, that guy. Gotcha.
I thought you might have gotten that implication from what I said earlier.
No.
But no, okay.
No, went right over my head. Like, he doesn't want to die.
Yeah, so chance encounter, and then he meets Kumiko, who insists on being called Josee. Or Josee. I mean, I think in Japan they just pronounce stuff differently than us. So
okay.
I'd
say Josee, but
yeah, but I think they were saying Josee.
Okay. Well, that's just their opinion, man.
It's based off of a character from a French novel. So
Josee.
Josee. We shouldn't have done that.
No. We just lost
Who cares
0 French listeners.
Yeah. Okay. She is very standoffish at first. And then
we kind of learned she's like a recluse. Grandma doesn't let her go out.
Yeah, they went out for a walk, and my one note here was, this old lady is being unreasonable.
Yeah.
And that she's just like, no, we can't go on walks anymore because the world is dangerous. Because I took my eyes off you for a moment and somebody ran into you and you started running down a hill at super speed. And you
to be fair, she was right. It is dangerous. She almost died.
Yeah. But it's just like, okay, well then just don't go by that hill. You can still go on walks.
This is Japan. There's hills everywhere.
Okay. But the grandma hires the boy, Sunio, to basically like, hey, you should be like a caretaker. We'll pay you, and I don't have to. I can go leave the house or whatever.
Play pachinko.
Yeah. Then she's still standoffish to him, and then eventually he's like, all right, I'm going to quit. But on the day he wants to quit, she's like, run away on her own. She wants to go see the sea.
See the sea.
I want to see the sea. And he's just like, I'm going to take you home. Damn, you want to go see the sea? All right, that's where the fishes are.
Damn, I'm a sucker for people who want to see the sea.
She's like, why did you take me to go see the sea? Well, I won't. I like people who like to see the sea. Because I am going to be marine biologist boy.
I'm trying to make a joke about, like, to see the sea, and it's just a big-ass sea. I don't think that exists anywhere, though.
But he decides that she kind of lightens up on him. He decides that, okay, I can keep doing this job. Mm-hmm. And then there's like 2 hours where the grandma takes a nap every day that they go and you just do stuff outside, which is good. You don't want to be a recluse. Eventually, what causes like the divide between them? Grandma dies.
What is the first initial divide? There's a couple. I forget.
And Grandma dies, which is sad. She's like, I can't pay you to come by anymore.
Apparently it's the grandmother dying. Okay.
Then he's like, okay, well, I'll still come by sometimes just to hang out or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't need to be paid.
But then shortly he is offered a scholarship to Mexico, so he's going to be leaving. And
he doesn't like tell her that because she's like, oh, we should go see it in spring. And he's like,
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. He just doesn't know how to broach the subject. Mm-hmm. So
eventually
Josee comes and like meets up with her. And I don't remember what the original reason was for going. I think...
Well, he said that she has to let him go because he's been, like, slipping a little bit, like, during work, I think. So she's just like, hey, stop distracting him. He wants to go to Mexico.
Or was she, like, already avoiding him?
I think it was a little bit of both.
And that was kind of, like, I think they were both just sort of depressed from the grandma dying. And he being like, I don't know what my relationship is with her. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting paid to go there anymore. So does that mean I don't go? Like, what is our relationship at this point? And then, so I think to kind of get him out of his funk, his two friends from work, Mai, who is in love with him, and Hayato. I don't know if they call him Hayato or Matsura. They don't say his name very often. No. Or at least not in the subtitles.
Yeah.
Because I know they say names more, like they don't say you and I as much as they say, like, refer to them in the third person, is what I've noticed.
Okay.
When, like, somebody is like, oh, I love your pictures. That's how we'd say it in England, in America.
Yeah, in English.
But they would say, and I caught this, it's like, oh, I love Josee's pictures. Because, like, then they can have, like, that I love Josee. Pictures. Gotcha. They can have that pause there. It was like, what?
Well, the subtitle was like, I love your paintings.
Yeah. But like it's got an extra level if you say their name.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
I got you.
I should mention she wants to be like a painter. And they kind of bond over like, he's like, oh, when you were missing, I went and looked in your room and I really like your pictures of fish because I want to be a fish boy.
I think he's fish. Really into real big fish.
Oh yeah,
real big fish guy.
He's a
fish
an
head.
RBF head. Yeah,
real friends call him Dave.
I don't know if there's a Dave in Real Big Fish. I've seen Real Big Fish in concert. I would not be able to tell you any of their names. Mm-hmm. Good concert though. Aquabats opened for him.
Cool.
Okay, then. Yeah, so she's kind of like, they were there to just like talk to her about like trying to cheer up, but she finds him before Hayato and she's like, all right, nah, fuck this girl.
Yeah.
Hey, he only cares, he's only being sympathetic towards you. Stay away from him. Mm-hmm. She's very defensive, which doesn't reflect poorly or doesn't reflect kindly on her behavior. But she's a girl in love.
Yeah,
she's jealous. It's okay. She can be forgiven.
Mm-hmm. She does the right thing at the end.
Yeah. Everything will be alright in the end. So they would... Yeah, so that kind of divided them.
Josee basically gives him one more job just to take her to the ocean.
Yeah, I want to see the sea again. And then that'll be the last job. He's like, I don't want it to be my last job. And she runs away from him. Her wheelchair gets stuck in the middle of the road, crossing the street, because it's raining. And it's just like in a puddle or something and can't spin. So he goes and is like, shit, she needs help. So he runs out into the middle of the road and gets hit by a car sliding in the rain that can't brake.
Yep.
He's in the hospital. He's broken his leg. He's got a concussion. The doctor's like, the surgery wasn't perfect. You may not be able to walk again like normal. And he's like, oh, fuck. I might not be able to dive again.
So he kind of gives up.
Well, and his professor comes up and is like, hey, you know that scholarship you got to go study in Mexico? They're going to want somebody else to come down in March if you can't make it to, like, fill in the program or whatever. But don't worry about, just focus on getting better right now. But he's just like, well, this is all useless. I'll never be able to dive again. Josee does see him in the hospital once to, like, apologize, but they don't really have, like, a good heart-to-heart. Maya goes and sees him a couple of times, and she can't cheer him up. She's like, all right, well, does she confess her love to him and then goes and talks to Josee?
Yes.
Okay. She's like, I love you. You don't have to respond. I already know you don't love me.
You love Josee.
But I needed to tell you that. I'm crying now, but I'm glad that I told you. Then she goes to talk to Josee, and she's like, yeah, he's given up. She's basically just, like, trying to piss her off.
Yeah.
Get her to go into action, which works.
Call him to action.
Josee writes a short story that's basically about how he inspired her to confront the world. She makes a plan with Maya and Hayato to get him to show up at her reading the story to kids in the library, because we should also mention that she went to a library and befriended a librarian there, tried to read the kids once, and was bad at it, but they liked her drawings. Ben called dibs on the librarian. Good dibs.
Hell yeah.
Is her name Kana?
Yep.
Okay, it's either Hana or Kana. Then he's like, all right, I'm doing it. Rehab, let's go. And they're like, hey, I'm going to be able to get discharged on the 24th, Christmas Eve. You want to meet me on Christmas Eve? And she's like, yeah, sure. She doesn't show up. He's like, fine, I'll go to her house. Not there. All her stuff is packed up. He's like, I got to find her. Meanwhile, she's like, the ending of her short story was like, oh, yeah, like, after he lost his wings, I told him that he's got bigger wings in his heart and he'll be able to do his thing. And he went and swam with the fishes. Didn't die. He got to swim with the fishes, literally. Okay. And then I returned to the sea by myself. It was like what happens to the mermaid character. She's like, I got my tail back. I don't have my legs anymore. I got my tail back. I returned to the sea. I returned to my recluse life. Though she's sort of got like a job. She's basically like, I want to make my own way now. Without the legs that he helped give me. She's like, I'm going to go confront my fears. So she confronts the tiger, and then she goes and confronts the hill that she fell down before. And wouldn't you know it, somebody rushes past her chasing the dog, bumps into her, and she goes tumbling down the hill. And he
really
catches her
fast.
Again. Yes.
Super fast.
Super fast in the snow. Can't brake. This is an electric wheelchair, so like the brakes
on that. Just have hand brakes.
Yeah, I mean, even then, it's probably an icy road. Could have slid.
Yeah, that's true. Also, she'd go like...
Yeah, she would just get launched off.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want an immediate break. You'd want a gradual break. But, but he's there. He catches her again, and he's like, hey, I'm going to go to Mexico, but, I love you, right? She's like, yeah, sure. And then they kiss. She's like, that was different. And he's like, in a bad way? He's like, no, in a good way. And then they kiss again.
Yeah. Two kisses.
And then he's like, all
so
right.
I bumped it up to 8.
Now I'm off to Mexico. And credits roll, and we get some scenes of... I think we get some scenes of them hanging out before he goes off to Mexico. And then it's like, all right, bye-bye. Go to Mexico. There's him following the plane. And then it cuts to springtime, and it's where the cherry blossoms are that they were talking about going and seeing in the spring, and then she's just painting something or writing something, whatever. And he's like, "Hey, I'm on spring break. I came to see you." Which I will say, number one, never do that. Don't just surprise somebody with a, "Hey, I'm in town for a week. Let's hang out." What if they got plans? What if they're seeing their side action? You don't want to know. You want to give them time to be like, "Okay, well, let me take off work. Let me tell my new boyfriend to not show up for a week."
Okay.
You just, you don't want to be heartbroken like that. So just give them time to hide it. But seriously, do tell people if you're going to be in town for a week, because, they can't just all of a sudden make time for you. They might lose their job. I don't think she really had a job at that point, though.
She was an illustrator.
Well, she was trying to be one.
Well, they had that little scene where she was actually working on something. I'm assuming that was her job.
Okay. I mean, I think she might be trying to become an illustrator, but that's not necessarily.
It looked it looked like an office.
All right, I'm just saying that's not.
I think I'm right on this one. I think I'm right on this one.
All I'm saying.
I think you need to trust me on this one.
Benjamin, can I finish my sentence?
Sure.
All I'm saying is that being an illustrator does not sound like a steady job, because being an author is not a steady job. You can make some money from it, but what if they don't pick up your next book?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All I'm saying is it looked like she had a job.
Moving on. I don't have much else to say about this movie.
Okay.
I like it. People should go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do All Aboard?
Okay. All Aboard?
What's your ship of the week here?
Oh, shoot. That's what All Aboard is. Main people.
Okay.
Josee and
all right.
Sunio. Me and the librarian.
You and the librarian. Hayato and nobody.
Okay.
He hit on everybody. He doesn't deserve to be happy.
Yeah, he's gonna end up with Mai.
I don't like that.
That's what's gonna happen.
I don't like it.
She's gonna change him. He won't be.
He's
that type of guy. He's a womanizer, but as soon as he gets one, he's done.
Yeah. No, I don't really think that poorly of him, but I also just think I don't think she's interested in him that way.
That's true. She will be. I mean, she's got nobody else.
What are you talking about? There's all of Japan.
Please.
There's plenty of fish in the sea. She would know she works at a dive shop.
It's true. Maybe she marries a fish.
Now that's a movie. My Who Married a Fish.
My Who Married a Fish.
Is there a My Married Minnow?
I'll write it down. My Married Minnow.
Yeah. I could talk a little bit about the what the differences are between the novel and the other movie adaptations that have come out on this.
Okay. Can I tell my joke real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
If I had a nickel for every animated movie I saw today where if somebody gets hit by a car, I'd have 2 nickels.
It's weird that
it's not a lot, but it's weird that I have 2.
Twice. You could have said anime movies, not just anime.
Yeah, that's true. I
could have said anime movies with subtitles.
I did watch subtitles for that one movie until the very end because it started skipping on me, so I just switched it to.
Oh yeah, well I think our internet was going.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I just switched it to dub because it looked like it was working better. Dub was not very good from what I listened to.
Okay. So the original story was like a 40 to 50 page one shot that was published in like a magazine. It only has
40 page. Sorry, a 40-page story is published in a magazine.
Yeah, literary magazine. Thing.
Okay.
Be a big magazine probably, but okay. And this is sorry. I'm getting this from Reddit user Save Sayer, Saer, Save Saer.
Okay.
So all credit to them for this information. If any of this is wrong,
it's on that person.
It's on that Redditor, yeah. Because I didn't do the research myself. I didn't go hunt down an English translation of the original short story.
This is a secondary source.
Yep. Anyway, that was published in 1984. It only has 3 characters.
Okay.
Which are Josee, Sunio, and the grandma. Those are the only 3 characters in the original short story. And it's more about, like, issues with dealing with, I don't want to say issues, but just, like, conflicts that arise when, dating somebody that is paraplegic. It also has, the ending of it is fairly similar to the ending of this anime. It's like a nice, happy ending.
Cool.
There's a 2003 live-action Japanese movie that came out. This has added side characters. Notably, Sunio has a girlfriend named Kane. And Josee has a friend named Koji who helps out sometimes. And they have an ending that this person calls the bad ending, where they don't get together, or like they might be together, but then they break it off, and Sunio goes back to his previous girlfriend Kane.
God, that ending sounds like it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm reading it right here.
Yeah. There was a 2020 Korean movie that's based off of the 2003 Japanese movie, as opposed to the novel itself, so it retains that quote unquote bad ending.
Sorry, according to this, they do spend the night at a love hotel.
All right. We might have to watch it. And then there's the anime that also came out in 2020 that is more faithful to the novel itself, but adds new, different characters than the ones that the live action movies added to like get away from that connotation of that bad ending, I guess.
Gotcha.
So like, no, there's Mai and Hayato. These are our new characters. And of course, there's characters, side characters that, like the librarian or the owner of the shop or the doctor and what have you.
Gotcha.
Which they probably like, if the novel has him get hit by a car, they're probably like, just like explained it in like they didn't have like a doctor explain it to him. They're just like, oh yeah, this was the doctor said I've got this. Like they don't have the doctor speak. They just say what the doctor said. Probably. Okay. Or maybe this person on Reddit just didn't count the doctor as a character. I don't know.
It could be.
But those are the differences from my quick search here to try to find, did they sanitize this to make me have a happy ending? And not really. They did apparently. The only other thing is they updated how some minor events play out to fit with modern sensibilities, which,
okay.
Again, how we thought about paraplegic and other disabled stuff was way different 40 years ago. So I'm sure they were just, it would be weird. It would be weird for somebody to like be mean to a person in a wheelchair, but it doesn't sound like something that would happen in the 80s. Somebody would be mean to somebody in a wheelchair. Just doesn't sound like. I'm sure it happens still, but it doesn't sound like that believable of a thing anymore. And I don't even know what they updated. I'm just saying, like, it's probably less discrimination against.
They probably don't have that hot train. They cleaned it.
You mean the background character who showed up once to have the little ramp up into the train?
Yeah, the hot train attendant.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have anything else to say. Do you have anything else to say?
Nope.
This will be a short episode. We're at like 34 minutes now, so that's enough.
Yeah.
We'll be back next time for something. We haven't decided yet. Maybe we'll do another movie. Maybe we'll actually get the show watched. Which depends on how busy we are. But you can follow us on Twitter at @anime_territory. You can follow us on YouTube as Anime Territory. Pretty much anywhere you find podcasts is Anime Territory. You are now leaving the Anime Territory.
Goodbye.